Analog modeled EQs are still used all over pro productions and mixes to this day. Let's explore some of the reasons why you may want to use an analog modeled EQ. Then in the next video, I'm going to break down exactly how to use them so that you can feel comfortable when you see an analog modeled EQ and know exactly how to tweak it to get the desired effect. One big reason we use analog modeled EQs is to quickly add vibe and color. Let's take a look at an example of this in action. Let's say we wanted to brighten up this synth part. What we actually want to do is add a pleasant airiness to this synth without making it sound thin or harsh. So we're going to use FGS, this analog model EQ here, in order to boost some of the top end of the synth. So we immediately hear this pleasant airiness that's added to the synth, and we don't get any of the unpleasant harshness. It doesn't make the synth sound thin. We got everything we wanted out of this synth just by turning one knob on our analog modeled EQ. It was fast and easy to add that air and that brightness that we wanted. Let's say we wanted to add some thicker low end. We can look to the FGN, which is a very popular equalizer to add that fat tone. So a much fatter tone because we boosted the low frequencies. Just to hear the difference, let's copy over all of these EQ curves to a stock EQ. We're going to copy them over exactly as we've done them here in our EQ, and let's A/B them to hear the difference. We'll start with the stock EQ. It's so much fatter and thicker and warmer with the analog modeled EQs. It doesn't sound thin or tinny, and it has a very thick roundness to the sound. It's the perfect vibe and color for this track. Of course, you can use a stock EQ, and sometimes it's the best tool for the job, but in order to emulate this thicker, fatter sound, it might take a lot of fidgeting with different frequencies, Q values, and boosts and cuts in order to achieve the same perfect sound. And it won't have the same vibe and color as the analog modeled EQ. Using these EQs is a much easier way to achieve this fat, present tone. Let's try another example where we're using an analog modeled EQ on a vocal track. We've got FGN loaded up on this vocal. Let's say we want to brighten it up, add some pop sheen to this vocal, and thicken it up in the low end as well.
I don't know if you're the one or just someone, but gotta know one thing. It's feeling like what you got is what I'm missing. I don't see no ring. Think I wanna put one on ya. I don't know if you're the one or just someone, but gotta know one thing.
We're getting a nice present fat tone. Again, we can copy over the same exact curve to our stock EQ. Take a listen to the difference. We'll start with the stock EQ.
I don't know if you're the one or just someone, but gotta know one thing. I don't know if you're the one or just someone, but gotta know one thing. I don't know if you're the one or just someone, but gotta know one thing.
We're getting this silky high end that sounds really nice with the analog modeled EQ. It doesn't add any harshness or thinness to the sound. Overall, it just sounds smoother and more pleasant with the analog modeled EQ on this particular track. Let's look at exactly why these analog modeled EQs are able to give us this sound. Because beyond just boosting and cutting the frequencies, we're also adding dynamic, nonlinear artifacts by using a virtual analog modeled plugin. And these dynamic nonlinear artifacts are bringing an incredible amount of vibe and color to our track. These EQs are precisely captured and recreated from the classic studio hardware pieces, including all of these dynamic nonlinear artifacts. In addition to adding warmth to your tracks, it can also be somewhat creatively freeing when you use a more limited tool set. This is where analog modeled EQs can come in really handy. While you don't necessarily have the same level of control over the EQ, you can actually move faster and think more creatively in some instances. Like when you just want to add a little high end to a vocal, you can just boost the high end of FGN, and it gives a nice presence and airiness. You don't have to think too much about where the shelf is placed, what frequency, the Q factor, etc. In the next video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process so that you can walk up to any analog modeled EQ and feel comfortable knowing exactly how to tweak it to get the sound you want. This course is available in the Slate Digital All Access Pass, which gives you thousands of dollars worth of award-winning plugins, the industry's most game-changing synthesizer, Anna 2, and the very best Masterclass production courses taught by the industry's biggest pros, all for $14.99 per month.